Hello, everybody. My name is Dro, and welcome to my channel where we talk Raiders and football news in general. As you can tell by the title of this video, we are talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Yeah, I'm a Raiders fan. You see my shirt, jersey, you see my hat, but I want to give you guys my unbiased opinion and tell you what the Steelers are doing wrong. The Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is not that great of a quarterback anymore. I never hated Aaron Rodgers. Always thought he was one of the best of all time. But he's past his prime already. Have you seen what happened with the Jets? Yes, I know some of you are gonna say the Jets are the Jets. They're dysfunctional beyond belief, but he had one full season there and it was mediocre. And now he's going to go with the Steelers, where he's going to have 1 year at least. And you think he's going to be better with the Steelers? The Steelers have been one of those teams that have been pretty consistent throughout the years. They've been one of those teams that hasn't had a losing season in a long time. If they're like a bad season for them is battling for a wild card berth. That's a bad season for them. Almost making the playoffs. And what I honestly feel like they should do, instead of getting Aaron Rodgers, getting Jalen Ramsey, getting DK Metcalf, is just letting the season be. They should have just not trade for those guys and give TJ Watt the contract he deserves. Cam Hayward and TJ Watt, that's already one of the best D lines in the NFL. But the Steelers are going outside and getting these players. DK Metcalf is in his prime. Jalen is past his prime, and Aaron Rodgers is in his prime. What are you guys doing? Do you guys want another season where you at least make the playoff bubble? Do you guys think you're contenders? I hate the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs could still beat the Steelers. I think the Bills could beat the Steelers. The Ravens, even though that's a rivalry, the Ravens could beat the Steelers when it matters. Maybe the Texans could beat them. Maybe the Bengals could beat them. Heck, maybe even the Broncos could beat the Steelers. So what frustrates me is the Steelers being one of those teams that has to stay above 500. I'm not saying you should tank, because it would bring me joy. Let's be honest. It would bring me joy if the Steelers finally had a losing season. But guess what? They're doing themselves a disservice if they think getting Aaron Rodgers and all these other players, and if they wind up in the wild card bubble and let's say they make the playoffs and lose, which I predict that will happen, either the outside looking in or they're in and they're one and done. They're doing themselves a disservice because the, in the first round of the draft, they're gonna have a draft pick that's not gonna be that much. That it's not gonna be an impact player. Let's be honest. Every NFL draft, the first 5 picks are your impact players. And yes, there's some players that slide down for different reasons. For example, Jalen Carter, the Raiders should have drafted him, but he got in a let's just say car incident, and the Raiders we just had the whole Henry Ruggs incident. So we, in good faith, could not draft him. And now it's a huge regret because Tyree Wilson, to me, is not living up. I wish we got Jalen Carter. But anywho, that's a topic for another day. So for the Steelers, yes, they're doing themselves a disservice. I'm not saying they should tank because I want them to have a losing season. But if they're going to keep Mike Tomlin, they should just they should just leave who the people are, who the players who are on the team, just let them play. Aaron Rodgers is a Band-Aid. He's going to be there for 1 year. He's not a long-term solution. So, for me, last year's draft was the draft that just happened did not have a lot of good quarterbacks. What was the guy from the guy who went to Tennessee, Cam Ward, 1 overall. Tennessee had to do that. Dart went to the Giants. And look how far Shedeur Sanders fell. This was not a good QB class. But from what I'm hearing, this upcoming draft is going to have more quarterbacks. And for the Steelers, getting Aaron Rodgers might equal to being a team above 500. So that means that quarterback is going to be out of reach during the draft, unless you do something crazy where you trade up. I don't know if they're going to trade up. All you Steeler fans that are watching this, can you guys leave a comment? So, this Steelers team, by winning, are hindering themselves by not being able to have a good draft picks. But you know what? It's just the first round, because once you get into the second, third round, it's all the same to me, you know? You find some hidden gems later in the draft. Find some dumb diamonds. Some earlier draft picks might be bust, while later draft picks might be better. Like, do I have to bring up Max Crosby? Drafted pretty late. But the person that the Raiders were like, oh, this is Khalil Mack's replacement, Clyde Farrell. He's not on a team no more. But anyways, yes. The Steelers, what are you guys doing? Quit trying to hold on to this winning culture. Well, yes, be a winning culture, but don't put this Band-Aid on it. If you guys have a losing season, yeah, that sucks. But eventually you get the benefit from that. What do you guys think? Leave a comment. Leave a like. And let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later.